Hey guys, awsomeswagg80 here, and today the movie review we are talking about is the much debated and hot off the topic press. Anyways, the awsomeswagg80's movie review today is about Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, I don't know where to start with this movie. I let me start off with the good stuff. All right. The action scenes, they're pretty good. The one scene where they're in the Shadow Realm and it's Gore and Thor and Valkyrie and the mighty Thor and Korg. There's a lot of ors, except for Valkyrie. She's the odd one out. But yeah, I really like that fight and the visuals of the black and white and then the color and then I know it's as simple as putting like a black and white filter, but then they added that little twist of like adding the slight shines of light whenever they use their weapons and everything. So it's not just a black and white filter, they actually put like some thought into that fight scene, which I thought was very cool. And the action in that little scene was also very good. The choreography and all that, I thought it was pretty good. And speaking of Gore and the Shadow Realm, I thought Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher he did a pretty good job. When he was on screen, I was like, oh shiver me timbers, oh shiver me timbers, oh butter my backside and call me a biscuit, you will, cause she wish she sucks ye golly, oh my god, he was an intimidating guy, and starting off the movie with him, I thought that was a really good idea to like show off his character and what's his like motivation and all that. He lost his daughter. I did feel, okay, here's the first negative. I did feel the beginning was a little bit rushed. They didn't like give us time to connect with him and his daughter and all that. But if they would have given us a little bit more of that, I felt that Gore's motivation and his driving force would have been so much more impactful, and the ending would be so much more impactful. And speaking of that, I feel like it's not just the beginning, but a lot of select parts of this movie, like a majority of the movie, feels very rushed. It feels like they're just going from point A to point B, and they're not building up the in between. It's not the destination, it's a journey to getting there. They just go from here to there, and then they go to the beginning, to the middle, to the end. They just hit the plot points, they just hit the bare skeletons of the movie. That's what I felt. And they didn't really flesh anything out, really. Like when we went from New Asgard to Omnipotent City, I thought there was gonna be like a bit more like travel, a bit more struggle. They weren't just gonna be like, oh, hey, we're here, guys. Pack it up, boys. We're in Omnipotent City. Let's meet all the people there. Oh my gosh, it's Zeus. Oh my gosh, it's Jesus. It's the dumpling person. It's the core god. Oh my god. Hey, look over there. Oh my god. Reference. Oh my god. Wow. I thought there'd be a bit more to it. Going to this big magical city where all the gods have their annual orgy or something. I don't know. That was kind of weird. But yeah, I thought there was gonna be a bit more to like going from point A to point B, and like when they go to the Shadow Realm, they just go, oh hey, I think they're gonna be in the Shadow Realm, so let's get on the boat and let's go to the Shadow Realm. That's it. It's quick and easy like that. There's no stakes, there's no like building up. They just go there. I thought that felt very rushed, and that didn't really feel good in the movie. It just felt unearned. That's what it felt like. Okay, I was talking about Gore and how Gore steals the show. Christian Bale steals the movie. His portrayal of Gore is really good, and he was very menacing. Thor, his charismatic self. I mean, how can you not like him? He did the splits in between two floating motorcycles with birds piloting them. Like, how? I mean, he adds the charm. He adds the goofiness to the movie. So he's great as always. The mighty Thor, the other protagonist of Thor: Love and Thunder, Jane Foster, she was pretty good also. I did feel for her cancer story and all that, her cancer arc, and I mean, I feel her story and her arc in the movie was good, but the way that the whole movie is around her, the way the movie like reacts around her, that's the thing that really brings her story down. I mean, she's not bad, she's not horrible, she's good, but like, if the movie was a bit more serious, I'll talk about that later. If the movie was a bit more serious, I feel like her death in the end would be much more impactful, because, for example, when Korg died, it was just played off as a joke, and I was actually like, oh my god, they killed Korg, holy shit. I was with my girlfriend, and I was looking at her, I was like, holy shit, they killed Korg, and she was like, oh no, oh my god, why no? And then, oh, haha, I'm actually not dead, so if the mouth survives, then I'm actually alive, so I'm all good. I could pass that off. It's Korg, he's Mr. Funny Man, But then when Valkyrie got stabbed, I was like, oh, holy shit, oh my god, is she actually gonna die here? And then no, they just play it off as a joke, So those are 2 times when the movie was like, hey, this character's gonna die. Psych. They're actually okay. Let me add a joke right here referencing that. So when Jane was gonna die, they did have like that serious-ish tone, but like with everything that happened before, like treating serious moments as jokes, I didn't really feel much, because I was like, oh, she's probably gonna, I don't know, Eternity is gonna do something for her, and like he's gonna be like, oh wow, it looks like you can live for eternity, get it? Because eternity, and you live, yeah, joke, laugh, and I thought that was gonna be like something, like they're gonna play it off as a joke, but then she actually dies, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold, stop, wait a minute, she's actually dead? Wait, so this there's not a joke? Are you sure she's actually dead? Oh wow, that's pretty sad. But yeah. I mean, I thought she was gonna live, but I guess she's not. I feel like the movies, with its comedic tone, that it takes everything, literally everything as a joke, it like ruins the really like serious parts. That's what I feel. And because of that, I feel like Jane's story is really diminished. I mean, not just Jane's, but like everybody's story is really diminished in that way. Valkyrie and Korg, they're just like add-ons from Thor Ragnarok. They're just there because they were from the last movie and everybody liked them, so now they're here, and they really have no story, to be honest. Korg's like there. He's just there. He's literally just there. I don't know why he's in the movie if he does nothing to add to the story. He's just a comedic relief. And Valkyrie's like struggling with being king, but then that's never brought up. And she's alright. She got stabbed. Nothing serious there. It would have been so much better if she, I mean, not if she died, but if she died, it would have been like, oh my god, wow, this guy's an actual threat, And yeah, Gore was killing people and gods, but we never saw anything. We only saw him stab the sun god in the beginning of the movie in the neck, which was pretty brutal, I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect that, but after that, we just see the aftermath of what he does. We don't actually see him butchering the gods. And now that we're at this point, I'm just gonna say this right now. This video is gonna be a bit longer than my usual movie reviews, because I have a lot to talk about this movie. So yeah. But yeah, that's mostly what I want to talk about, the characters and the pacing of the story. I got that out of the way. The visuals of the movie are pretty good at most times. Like I said, with the action scene in black and white filter, and like with all the colors and everything, it's very vibrant. But it's, the CGI at a lot of parts is very wacky and not that good, because of the whole how Marvel is treating their CGI and visual effects departments and all that. But the visuals, they're fine. They're okay. They're good. And before I get into the main meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about this movie. The story of this movie it's fine. It's pretty good. It does what it has to do for. Like I said, it feels like you're just going to point A to point B, and there's nothing in between. You just get there, do what you gotta do, and then you go to the next point. So I mean, the stories feels like that, and the actual plot of the movie is fine. Learning to love, which I don't really get why Gore was wanting to love. If anything, I would think he would want revenge, not love. I guess love from the gods, like appreciation from the gods, or like that makes sense a bit, yeah. But I feel like could have been a better word for that. I feel like they're trying to shoehorn the love of Love and Thunder into the main plot and synopsis of the movie. Did I say synopsis? I don't know. Yeah. I feel like the movie doesn't really have a main. I mean, it may have a main point, like to love people and other things, but I didn't really get anything from that, like I didn't see the main point of the movie. I felt like it was just a comedy, a rom-comedy action thriller thingy, I felt it was just a popcorn movie and that's it, and that's all it wanted to be. So yeah, the story's okay, the plot is fine, and now what I really want to talk about is the entire feel of the movie. I touched upon this a little bit before, but yes, I know this movie is a comedy, and I know that its main focus is to make people laugh. But I feel like I've said with a lot of Marvel projects recently, I feel like there's two movies trying to take the spot of one movie, and the comedy side of the movie is taking the majority of it. I feel like there's very serious points in this movie where things should be taken very seriously, but the comedy of the movie is bleeding into that, where we cannot take anything seriously, and there's nothing in this movie that actually really matters. And that is something that I do not really enjoy about this movie, that there's nothing that, like, you're like, oh my god, I actually care about this character and what they're going through, because Thor is really going back and regressing and finding who he is again, when he's already found that so many times. And yes, I know Thor copes with the trauma of losing everybody he loves with comedy, but I feel that all this trauma is just taken away to make a simple joke. And even when very serious moments happen, like when Jane dies, I feel like it isn't taken seriously because of everything that's come before, telling us that, hey, none of this matters, so this shouldn't matter either. And Thor's gonna be alright, because he's had a lot of people that died, and yes, he is very sad, but hey, look at this joke. Loki died, and Loki died again, and then Loki died again. Haha, that's so funny. When he lost his mom and his dad and his best friends, that's so funny. His home world, it also got destroyed by this big fiery doofus. He'd be laughing all the time. Ha 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 ha. So I feel like it trying to mostly be a comedy, it takes away from the movie, in general. And the serious parts of this movie just have no space to breathe and no space in the audience's mind, because it's always just jokes and humor. Like, I really love the scenes with Gore because his scenes were more serious and they were more impactful, and I was like, oh my god, what is gonna happen? What is Thor gonna do? How is he gonna defeat him? Or is Gore gonna defeat him? Or what is Gore gonna do? Like, I'm actually like invested in what's happening with his side of the story, because I want to know what Thor is gonna do to his side of the story and how that's all gonna be affecting each other. But then I go back to Thor's side, and yes, there are a few jokes, and I'm not gonna lie, some of them did make me chuckle, but the majority of them made me go. Nothing more than like a oh, nothing more than that. And that's in the very few occasions that the movie is actually funny. I'm not saying that this movie should not have been a comedy at all. I'm saying that they should have mixed in the comedy and the serious parts together to make a good comedy, but also a good story where you care about the characters and everything that's happening in the story, where the jokes don't take away from the story and the characters which this movie is based off. And I would not have a problem with any of that if this was just like a one shot or like a little silly short film or something by like some new director or something that has no experience with any of this. I would be like, okay, he doesn't know what he's doing. This is still a bad movie. But I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. They don't know what they're doing. She doesn't know what they're doing. So like, it's just a bad movie. But I kind of understand, they're giving something and they don't know what to do with it, so they just try their best. But the biggest problem I have with this movie is that this movie is made by Taika Waititi. I love his films and the way he mixes comedy and serious tones together, where the comedy does not take away from the serious tones and the serious tones do not take away from the comedy. It's a movie, he makes movies that you can laugh and then cry and then laugh and then cry again because it makes you laugh. But then the seriousness hits you that hard because a minute ago you were laughing and now you see the seriousness of the whole situation and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck, this is so sad. And then later on you're like laughing again because he makes a little funny joke, and then boom, again you're hit with this wave of sadness because I feel Taika Waititi knows how to make a comedy and a serious movie, and he knows how to make a serious movie, but he adds that flair of comedy, which is his style, into the movie to make the serious moments much more impactful. Because if every day was a happy day, then no day is a happy day because then it's just a normal day. But if you have a happy day and then you have one day that like takes you to the ground, hits you, kicks you, and takes everything away from you, and then you have another happy day after that, you appreciate the happy day much more, knowing that you've like been in the worst days, And I feel Taika Waititi knows how to do that. I feel in this movie, this had nothing of that. I feel like Taika Waititi did not have his, like, it says it's his movie, but it didn't feel like his movie. It felt like a comedy trying to be serious at some points and at the same time trying to be Taika Waititi style of filming. It felt like what I said before, a person who never knew how to make a comedy and a serious movie mixed together, and they have no experience with any of this or how to handle characters, and this was his first movie, and they did so bad that the studio was like, nobody's gonna watch this movie, so let's just slap Taika Waititi's name, let's add a little bit of 80s like flavor to it, when it has, in the movie there's very, very little that's like that little 80s vibe that they have in all the trailers, and the title is like, she got a smile that seems to me reminds me of childhood memories, and all that whole vibe that all the marketing has given to this movie. I feel like there's so little of that in the actual movie. And like I said, Taika Waititi knows how to handle like music and all that in his movies, and I thought he would do that much better in this movie. And they just had like a few 90s, 80s rock songs here and there, and that's mostly what the whole like 80s vibe that they were going for is made in the movie. And it's just kind of sad that I know Taika Waititi can do much better than this, because he has proven it so many times in Hunt for the Wilder People and Thor Ragnarok, which I really liked, and that movie knew how to tackle the serious tones and the comedy. And I don't know what went wrong with this movie, and like what the hell went wrong. They were just tired or lazy, and they're just trying to get a quick paycheck or something. I don't know. I just know that Taika Waititi can do much better than this if he actually cared and put thought and consideration into the movie. I just think he didn't really care I think he was just like, oh, let me just make a Thor movie, and that's pretty cool. Oh, you want me to do another one? I don't really want to, but I mean, if it gives me money for much better movies that I can make, like Jojo Rabbit and Hunt for the Will of the People, then, you know, I mean, I'll do it. You know, I'm good up at the bare minimum, but yeah, sure, whatever. And that's what really, like, I do not like about this movie, that it had so much potential with a great director and its great sense of style, and a great material with Gore the God Butcher and all the serious tones, and Jane Foster going through cancer, and Thor refinding himself or something, and all that. I felt like it had such great potential, but the comedy and the way that it felt nobody cared about this movie, and the way it was rushed, just took away from this movie. But yeah, I think that's mostly what I gotta say about this movie. I can't think of anything else. I got my small and biggest thoughts out the way. I'm not saying this movie is horrible. There's a lot of good things in this movie. The serious parts, Gore the God Butcher, and you know, some of the comedy beats. But yeah. Anyways, this video is long enough. I think I said all I want to say. Putting Thor, Love and Thunder into the swagg-o-meter, I give this movie, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I don't know. I think this is gonna be one of the lowest rated movies I've had rated so far, with a pretty solid 62%. It's better than mid, you know. It's better than the 50%, but I feel they had such good potential and they just wasted it. It's very short. The characters, most of them are great, and the other half are just wasted. And Omnipotent City and all the character development they could have had there, or the world building they could have had there, is, I mean, just used as a joke and jumping off to the next point. And yeah, I this movie. It's okay, but no, it's a little disappointing time. If this movie was much better, it had more of what's there, a bit more seriousness, and the comedy wasn't taken away from the entire movie, and it had a bit more time to flesh out the story and characters. I thought this movie could have been like a 70 or 80 and maybe even 90%, but it didn't any other points. And yeah, I didn't really find anything coming in this movie. At the end, when I count, like, as bad as Herbo said, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit too funny, but like, it's not that bad. I give it like a 70 or 79%. But after thinking about it for a while, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. Last video is very good. Yeah, that's just awesome. Get movie videos very long, but I just get thoughts out. I'm not cautious that no, like, I got the boogies. You. Or something, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, that's it for today's awsomeswagg80's movie review. I talked long enough. I shall see you guys later. Man, Alright, sister. B.